Well, children, let me tell you a story you probably won't find in your school books. After the Civil War, this country was a mess, especially down south. The war was over, but the South had lost more than just battles. They lost their plantations, their so-called economy, and most importantly, the people they enslaved who kept everything running. Now, during the war, there was a glimmer of hope for folks like us. General Sherman promised freed people 40 acres of land and a mule to work it. You ever heard of that? It wasn't just a rumor, it was an official order, Special Field Order Number 15. For a short while, some freed families were given that land. Finally, it seemed like justice might be coming. But then, Abraham Lincoln was assassinated, and Andrew Johnson became president. Johnson wasn't a friend to us. He reversed those orders and handed all that land we had started farming and calling our own, right back to the same white folks who'd lost it during the war. That was the first blow. But here's the part most folks don't know: the government actually paid reparations. Not to us, no. They paid the former slaveholders. That's right. These people were compensated for losing their slaves, human beings like you and me. We were their property, and when they lost that property, the government gave them money to make up for it. Imagine that for a minute. The same people who fought a war to keep us in chains got reparations for losing us, but the people who actually worked the land, built the wealth, and suffered under slavery didn't get a dime. Instead, we were left to figure out sharecropping, which was just slavery by another name. And don't think that's the end of it. After the war, the government poured money into rebuilding the South. They rebuilt railroads, infrastructure, and even helped planters get back on their feet. But for freedmen and women, there was no help, no land, no mule, just more systems designed to keep us poor and powerless. So when folks talk about reparations today, you remember that the South already got theirs. The plantation owners and Confederate leaders? They got to rebuild. But the people who made this country what it is, us, we're still waiting. But don't let this story make you bitter. Let it make you strong. We've always been resilient. We built our communities, we created our own opportunities, and we've never stopped fighting for justice. That's why it's so important for you to know this history, so you can tell it, too. The truth has a funny way of disappearing if we don't speak it. And let me tell you, there are folks out there who would rather this part of history stay buried. But not on my watch. Not while I've still got breath in my body to tell it.